My name is Minnie Luong. I am the founder and CEO of Chi Kitchen. We are manufacturers of handcrafted kimchi based in Rhode Island. And we also manufactured two new products, fermented sesame slaw and fermented kimchi pickles, which will be coming out in stores soon. Let's see. So I grew up in a really food centric family. And when I was growing up, there were not a lot of Asian ingredients available in the grocery stores like they are that like they are today, comparatively speaking. So I mean, I was born on a rice farm in Mekong Delta, Vietnam. My dad is a prolific gardener. We've always just like loved to grow our food and preserve and things from our garden. We'd have to drive, once a week, take a shopping trip up to like Boston's Chinatown to find, the Asian ingredients for our meals. Food is just like the love language in my family. So I've always been interested in food and eating well. And so um, eventually I became a chef. I worked as a private chef in Los Angeles. Once you get into fermentation, it's kind of like you can go down a rabbit hole. Like people who are really into fermentation might understand this because there's just something so rewarding about it, but it's very challenging sometimes when you first start out to really, be successful at it because there's just a lot of different variables and inputs, and the only way to learn is to kind of mess up and fix it and continue, and there's a real intuitiveness to it. But back when I wanted to start a company, I really wanted to start a healthy Asian food company. And my husband and I looked at each other and we were like, what is the healthiest Asian food? And far and away, kimchi is the one of the healthiest foods on the planet, if not the healthiest food. It's been made for thousands of years. There's so much history and storytelling around it. It tastes amazing, and it's also really been recognized over the last decade for all of its benefits. All of our products are handcrafted here at our licensed commercial kitchen in Rhode Island. The technique is really, really handcrafted. It's kind of insane. We chop all of the Napa cabbage by hand. We brine it with salt. The salt arrests the bad bacteria and sets up a competition for the good bacteria, the lactic acid bacteria to grow. Those are where all the probiotics are. And then we add our spices and flavorings. The only machine really that we use is a food processor to make the kimchi paste. And then once the cabbage is brined and washed, we mix all the ingredients together, and then it goes into our fermentation room to be fermented. And then it goes in after it's done fermenting. It goes into cold storage because we cold pack our kimchi. Um, and so then we pack it by hand. From start to finish, like raw ingredients to packaging, probably about a week, but the actual fermentation is only, about 2 days. The initial
Okay.
fermentation. Fermented pickles is a big thing. We would can vinegar pickles, and then I've just been so busy that I discovered that if you just add some salt and water to ferment pickles, then it's a lot easier than having to deal with the canning, and they last a long time. And in fact, our new kimchi pickle product is a fermented pickle, but instead of just water and salt, we add the kimchi's flavors to it. So it's really fun to play around with ferments. We take a long time. I'll tell you that. Um, so it is very collaborative. It starts with, looking around, seeing getting inspiration, ideas, things that people, customers of ours get excited about or things that they ask. And then just iterating and iterating and iterating. Our team gets involved, tons of taste testing. As we get closer and closer, we hand them out. There's also, we have to figure out how to incorporate it. If we can, you can make a good product, at home, but to scale it up and manufacture it and think about how it's going to fit into the overall, production and all the different ways that will, impact production or how we would have to change it. We think of it really from a big picture standpoint, but then we just spend a lot of time on the details. For example, we spent 6 months trying to get that perfect pink color for our sesame slaw. And while there's going to be variations because it's different, cabbage, it really depends. We really kind of spent like 6 months literally because the product tasted great, but I really wanted that
Want it
light,
to pop.
light pink color because that's one of our rubrics. It has to be beautiful. So we have been working throughout COVID because we are an essential business, manufacturing food. We've been working with Farm Fresh, Market Mobile for years, and so what we did was, in addition to putting our cases and larger format gallons of product on there, we decided to offer just individual jars for consumers who wanted to get home delivery, and that has been really great because people are we've just had a seen a large growth in people ordering it for home delivery and trying our products. I would say, there's always challenges when you're trying to grow your business, and as soon as you kind of figure out one challenge, there's another challenge, and luckily I enjoy that, and I think that's something that I enjoy about entrepreneurship is solving problems, seeing opportunities. It's just never ever ever boring. um One of the first challenges, we started at an incubator kitchen called Hope in Maine, where we started making our kimchi, and we knew that we would need to find our own space to scale up, in order to really have a viable business. So the first challenge was trying to find, a space that we could afford that, would work for us. So that was the first thing I think. We moved into our own kitchen, a year after we had started. And then, in 2019, we moved into our third kitchen, and now it's been like about a year and we're having kind of discussions about, what are we gonna, do next, in terms of space, So those are some of the challenges. Like as you grow, there's just a lot more moving pieces. I think our challenge right now is we still have a relatively small team. So there's just like a lot of things to do, and I don't feel like we have, enough hands to do everything. Um, but overall, I think I'm I think we're doing really good considering the circumstances. We're still here and we are growing. They basically aggregate different, producers, and they actually serve as a hub, and all of the local foods come in through their warehouse, and then they distribute it out to universities, people who want home delivered goods, institutions, restaurants, other food processors. So that's basically what it is. All the food is coming into their warehouse as a hub from all across, New England. You have to understand that the food business or food industry is really closely aligned with the transportation industry, and so like the costs of what you're paying, for food in the grocery store, it's the added cost is really the transportation cost. What I like about it is that we do have several different types of distributors for, retail and different things, but I know that, the percentage that they're taking from us is that money is directly going back into the local food system, not just in Rhode Island, but across the region. So that's why they're our preferred vendor, aside from the fact that they're wonderful to work with. Okay. So I like it in fried rice. I like kimchi fried rice. I mean, honestly, I'm not a snob at all. I like every single kimchi. Um, but let's see. I really like to eat it for breakfast. I like it with eggs on a breakfast sandwich. I'll do some like avocado, some kimchi. That way I know that I'm getting my probiotics in, at the beginning of the day. And it just kind of helps spice up my breakfast. So I would say that would be kimchi and eggs and avocado.